Hi, I'm Courtney Morrison, and you're listening to Engagement Drivers, presented by EveryoneSocial. Each week, we'll share actionable tips, strategies, and success stories that you and your teams can use to steer your brand, social, and employee engagement in the right direction. Hello. We are back with a very special guest on today's episode. I am here with Chris Hecklinger from the EveryoneSocial customer success team, who manages some of our biggest accounts and is really an expert on how to get people engaged with employee advocacy programs. Chris, thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge and expertise with our listeners.
Cool. Thank you.
One of the questions that we get asked a lot at EveryoneSocial is how to get people motivated to use employee advocacy when they're setting up platforms and programs at their companies. And one of the features that the EveryoneSocial platform has that has really worked well for a lot of companies is our Leaderboard feature. So it's the concept of gamification and having real ways to track and measure how people are using the platform and how people are stacking up next to each other. And it leads to some healthy competition and just fun as well. And so I wanted to hear from you, Chris, sort of the best practices and what it is and how people are using it to keep their employees engaged and involved in employee advocacy.
Cool. Yeah, happy to talk about gamification and leaderboards. Definitely a feature that's used by a large majority of our customers to help drive engagement and just people coming back in to the platform for more content, more competition, more everything really. So I'll just start at the top with defining kind of what is a leaderboard. So it's a product feature that lives within our application, and it's very easy for admins to come in and set up. So it's a feature, and it's included in all of our EveryoneSocial instances. So it's not something that is may or may not be there. It's always there, and it's something that we always encourage our customers to use right out of the gate. And so our customers are using it from those who are brand new, like literally just launching today, to those customers who have been with us for 7, 8, 9 years. We're always recommending leaderboards across the board. So it is a feature that lives within EveryoneSocial. And then, getting into a little more detail there, how do you set it up? And there's a few different ways to think about it. But as you go into the leaderboard feature, and again, I won't get too detailed here, but in general, you can assign points for different actions and activities within the platform. So historically, I bet a lot of our folks who are listening have used leaderboards or gamification, and it's been really focused on external activities like, okay, employee shares a piece of content to Twitter, they get a certain amount of points. And that's all well and good. But one cool thing about our new leaderboard is it actually includes points for internal activities as well. So your power users who are sharing the LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and are like suggesting content, things like that, they're going to get their points, of course. But there's also motivation for people who are new to the program and maybe aren't your power users. Maybe they share once a month. So if that's the case, they'll get points for sharing, that once a month or twice a month or whenever they log in. But also they can get points for internal actions too, like suggesting content, liking their colleagues' content, dropping a comment on a colleague's piece of comment. So there are ways to get people off the sidelines. And again, it kind of goes back to that theme of engagement, to where the leaderboards can really keep your power users engaged, but then also those people who are a bit on the sidelines, keeping them engaged as well. And when we think about points, usually kind of as a best practice in the beginning, we like to weight the points a little more towards getting people set up in EveryoneSocial. And what I mean by that is giving them points for connecting their LinkedIn account, uploading a profile picture, things that everybody can really do. But really that the behavior we're trying to drive is getting people registered and set up and connected on EveryoneSocial. And then usually a month or two after launch, then we'll start flipping some of those points so that we're rewarding more external activities as well. So the story is, okay, you're up and running, Mr. Employee. Now we really want you to start sharing content and getting really comfortable with the sharing workflow. And so we may weight the sharing now to the social networks a little heavier than we did during launch. And then looking forward, 5 months, 6 months, a year, or kind of whatever it is, at a certain point, programs are going to start maturing. And at that point, we can actually flip the points again a little bit. So we're not so much focused on sharing because your employees are already good at that. They've had months to kind of get up to speed there. But we can change the points to where we're putting a little more weight on quality of shares. So when that employee shares content to Twitter, they're going to get a few points. But then if someone clicks on it or engages with that piece of content, they're going to get more points. So we can kind of drive that behavior of sharing higher quality type content. So that's how you set it up in a nutshell. It's how you would kind of take a first pass at the point structure. We also have a lot of customers who set up leaderboards for different teams. And again, kind of going to your earlier comments around creating competition. So you can set up leaderboards by department. So it could be sales versus marketing versus internal comms, kind of whatever you want to do there. But also you could set up leaderboards by geo as well. So maybe it's the EMEA team versus the North America team or something like that. And then the platform has the flexibility to create leaderboards or kind of sub leaderboards as well. So you could create a leaderboard just for these 5 people who are part of the sales team who live in Spain. Like if they wanted to create their own little internal competition, they could. So there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to setting up those leaderboards. Some cool kind of use cases I've seen around that is, of course, you can have kind of an ongoing leaderboard where people are just accruing points. And we always recommend highlighting, some of those folks who are at the top of the leaderboards, whether creating a post around them, giving them a shout out of like a company newsletter or town hall or something like that. But also I've seen some cool campaigns where you can set the point value to really be focused on one activity. Like maybe it's inviting a friend or a colleague to EveryoneSocial. And so you're just giving points for the month of October for when people send an invite, to their colleagues. So there's some really cool things you can do with leaderboards to help drive that overall activity. When we think about the value of leaderboards, again, it's all about that engagement. We want people coming into EveryoneSocial to view content, participate in the conversations, feel like they are connected to the brand. I mean, more so now than ever, we are becoming that one-stop shop for people to feel connected to the brand and know, okay, what are the latest blog posts? What are the latest tweets and, LinkedIn posts, things like that they should be aware of. And so that's really kind of the value there. And then I'll just kind of end with this. One of the coolest things I saw was it was a while ago when we could actually visit our customers, but we were in an office and we were on the sales floor and they had a couple big TVs around kind of the bullpen, right? There were probably 60 people in this bullpen. And I looked up on the screens and I actually noticed that all the screens had the EveryoneSocial leaderboard on them. It was like this real-time leaderboard competition. Yeah, they just had it there. And I was like, wow, what a great use case for leaderboards. So yeah, people literally had real-time bragging rights there on the sales floor. So, so yeah, that was one of the cooler things I've seen around leaderboards and gamification.
I think it's a really special and kind of fun way to recognize, who is sharing and talking about the company, who is connecting with coworkers and really being able to find ways to kind of reward those engaged users and spread that and keep that going. So I think that it's a really great feature for anyone using the EveryoneSocial platform or thinking about how to keep people motivated to using employee advocacy platforms and programs.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with more engagement insights. Want to know how EveryoneSocial can provide you with the tools needed to keep everyone at your company connected, informed, creating, and sharing? Visit EveryoneSocial.com to learn more.